Welcome back. Wanted to give you all an update of where this project is at. Most of my updates in the last week have been just polishing this thing. Polish, polish, polish. So, let's see. We went through the fire demo last time. That's basically exactly where it was last time. Okay. Made some changes to how the default the common dialogs work. So, open a text editor. You can see that the keyboard focuses immediately in the text. And there's other things like go to open, focuses immediately right there. There you go. We can open it up. Notice that if you just press enter there, it's going to open whatever's in the prompt. Go to the REPL. The focus is also immediately moved to the editor. And then, as far as the common dialogues here, go to an alert. You can either press escape or enter to close that out. Confirm. Again, enter to accept. Cancelled is escape. Let's enter. Escape. Prompt. Green. You press escape here and you get a null. Well, I actually do like green. There we go. And similar things if you go to edit. Actually, I can't. I don't. I'm not sure I actually put the focus there like it was supposed to. That's the goal. Okay. The problem is that the REPL and the editor are both fighting for who gets to keep the focus. So when we open the editor, the REPL immediately took the keyboard focus back. So that's just something to think about. And you can't inspect the string. Inspect list. The list type is also a map. So, there you go. Oh, got the aeroglyphs on the scroll bars. So, that looks nicer, I think. There you go. See all the functions on the list. Can't do anything with them. Not now anyway. I don't know that I'll be able to set up any kind of editor for these val functions, but I might be able to set up a decompiler for the VM code, the bytecode. I'm not sure. I have to keep thinking about that. It can at least be something you can view. Okay. Other changes here. Lots of file system stuff. We now have a dir command. Dir. So there's two modes here. You can enter in the path. You can tell if you want it pretty print. Path. Pretty print is, if pretty print is false, then you're going to get a list of all the file system details. You can do with that whatever you want. Going back to the table, and you can see I made a test directory here. So directory's gone. Make dir test. There it is. Copy fire to, and there's fire. And now it's gone. Copy. Go up a level. And you can also move. It's not going to respect any of the asterisks right now. Oh, you actually have to give it a file name. Doesn't have to be the same file name though. Just what did I forget? Oh, I know what I forgot. In that directory, you actually, okay, this is how you type it. You have the path, current path, new path. You see there's the version 1 file right there. Then del list utility 1. If there was something in that test directory, deleting it would fail. And there we go. You can also, pwd will show you the current path that you're on. And that is simply looking at the env map, grabbing the current directory, and the intrinsic functions are going to that same global to resolve the current directory. Let's see, if you just type cd, it'll take you back to the root. Or you can cd /, that will take you back to the root. So, that is all the file system stuff that I think I need for the time being. So we should be able to try to minimize anything that might require me to pop out of this application. The next thing, I don't think I actually recorded a video on this. We have this sprite demo. Posted some screenshots to the Miniscript Discord group, but I have not actually recorded anything. So I already have the tile map. It's a very specialized tile map. You feed it a 2-color tile set, which is this asset image screen font. You have to give it the actual map size, 64 by 64 tiles. The viewport size is in pixels, and the size of each tile, 16 by 24 pixels, width by height. And then at render time, you can give it foreground and background color for each tile. Then we've got a function for getting a random integer between an inclusive min and an inclusive max value. I think it's inclusive max. No, my notes say it's an exclusive max. That's what that parentheses means. Anyway, the new thing is the sprite display. Much like the tile map, it is a very specialized kind of display. These sprites are also just 2-color bitmaps that are also constrained to, like, they step by tile. They don't step by pixel. Which is great if you're making a roguelike game, and not so great if you want to make any other kind of game in the entire world. But roguelikes are where I'm starting. I'm probably going to end up renaming sprite display and tile map to something more specific, because I think at some point I'm going to want to implement the proper generic sprite display and tile map display. We have 3 tiles implemented. Ground tile is just the tile index 0 is empty. There's a tree tile in the font set. You can see the tile index. Foreground color is bright green, background color is brown. There's also a flower tile in the same font set. So bright red on the foreground, brown on the background. Populating the map, generate a number between 0 and 100, treat like a percentage. Default is ground. This basically means there's a 10% chance of generating a tree and a 20% chance of generating a flower. Am I doing that right? think that's backwards. I think that I actually want to put that down there. Because if P is greater than 90, it's also greater than 70. So we need to check this one first. Make a tree. Oh, I know why I did that. Yeah, that actually does work. If this was an else if, then that would be a problem. And if this was a huge list, I would go into else if, but right now I'm just trying to save column space. I think that's right. So we grab the tile template, and I think this would be more clear if I put it down here, actually. Grab the tile from the map, and then copy the tile template onto the map tile. These don't do anything right now. We're just placeholders. Sprite display. I'm sort of loosely following how the Mini Micro handles sprite displays. It's a work in progress. Everything is a work in progress. You go to the sprite display to create a sprite. The sprite display keeps an array of sprites. And then you can set that sprite's foreground, background color, and tile index. You can... Well, we'll talk more about that in a minute. Okay. We're tracking 4 keys. Yeah, I'm leaving that alone right now. I don't need to keep editing this thing while I'm trying to demo it. I keep doing that, it keeps getting me in trouble. And a main loop. On each iteration of the loop, we're calling this isPressed function to see if the button's been pressed. There's something very specific about that. I'll get to it in a minute. At the end of the loop, we update the keys map. And it checks up, down, left, right, and escape. Escape will break the loop. Oh. No, I'm leaving as is. We're going to run the demo, and then I might move this stuff around a little bit. So there is a keyboard intrinsic, and it has functions for is up, is down, and any down to check if a key is up or down, or if any key is being pressed. And this will update the map to show which ones are currently pressed, because or currently down, because what we want to actually track when you're running a roguelike game especially is, is the key currently down, and was it up in the last frame? Because you want to capture that just as it's being pressed, and you don't want to like keep responding to that key over and over again on every frame. So we got a main function, we have a destroy function. It will remove the sprite from the sprite display, clear the sprite display, destroy the sprite display, and destroy the tile map. The way that, here, we'll run it, and then we'll talk a little bit more about this. I haven't tried running this since I updated all my intrinsics. I wonder if it still works. Run sprite demo. There you go. We have a simple little... Oh, right, it creates it, but I didn't run the main function, because that's where the event loop starts. Interesting, I must have broken something. Let's see if I can fix this right quick, and if not, then you're going to have to consider it to be a work in progress as well, and we'll get back to it in the next video. But So, while that will keep running forever until it detects that the escape key is down. It's running, hit escape, and neat, I must have broken my keyboard map. You know, it was working a couple days ago. It knows the escape key is up. No, always up. Never grabbing that key press. I changed some stuff about how the keyboard focus is being grabbed as part of this update. It's like I implemented the keyboard intrinsics, and then that was working, and then I did a bunch of work on making sure keyboard focus lands where I want it to. This is the fun part. Let's dig into how the keyboard intrinsic works. There's two sides to it. Going back into userland, keyboard intrinsics, keyboard state, and then we need the world script context. And we also need the world morph. I think. There. So here's the theory. A key press enters the world. The world constructs a key event from that key press. If the keyboard focus is not null, keyboard focus gets the key. If the event is not handled, then we throw it to the script context, and script context gets to work with it. The reason I was doing that was so that it's like, if we're focusing on a text editor and we're typing there, we don't want a script also responding to that key. But maybe that's okay. Let's try it and see how it feels. I'm going to throw every key event over to the script context, where it's going to set the key state based off of whether the input action is pressed or released, log an error if there's a problem. Userland errors are currently logged to the console. Sometime soon, I'm going to make a way to view that log inside the app. Just not there yet. I don't think that one will be very hard to do. So there is the map. Interesting. It's still not giving us those keys. It's also not printing anything to the console. got a concurrent dictionary. Add or update. Oh, I thought this was working. Logging. Let's see what that does. Is it even getting into the keyboard state? Look at that, the set key state down there is currently logging everything, but it's logging it all as false. There should be a down and then an up. That is mighty suspicious. Oh no! Check it out. Right there. It's false on both. Oh no! Oh, the drama. If that's not dramatic, I don't know what is. Okay, so we're seeing the up-down combo going in and out, but like I mentioned previously, you actually have to call the main function. Running the program is not enough, not currently, because all the logic's hiding in the main function. So let's do that. There we go. Little micro man can walk around. I think those console logs are going to drive me nuts now. Okay. So, if I had the logger properly set up, those would go under the trace setting, but I don't. So it's just going to go away for now. Commenting it out because odds are I'm going to win it back later. That's how these things go. I might want that back later. Okay. Let's see. There are a couple things I want to do in here, since we are editing this anyway. Now that I have the import figured out, that was one of the big changes in the last week or so. Some things like the random integer thing can move to another file. You know, let's do that right now. This will be a good example. Open up another editor, save as. Let's try this. Lib, math-util. Did it actually create that directory? Yeah, there it is. Okay, that's good to know. Still some oddities with the editor that I need to work out. Especially when it comes to like being on the bottom line of the editor. Sometimes the cursor will fall off the screen or the scroll just won't work right. Alright, let's take this rand int function and shove it in there. So now that that's in place, if we do import lib mathUtil I'm doing something wrong. What am I doing wrong? Could be that the import isn't set up to recognize file paths yet, because I'm not. Hold on, let's see if I fix that. If we go to that's the service, scripting, file system. We are resolving the script path. So it should be reading from the right place. I mean, I might be able to do that. Feels like cheating. Oh. The way import is set up, it takes whatever that variable was, the parameter, and it makes that the name of the import. Well, that's kind of a funny problem. How do I want to fix that? Let's think about this for a minute. The name is just what we're passing in, which includes the full path to the script. Grabbing the source code. This creates the import from the source code, but what is it actually doing? Okay, here's the idea, I think. take just that last piece, and that's going to be the import name. I think if I do it like that, it'll set the right variable, but I don't know. Oh, the drama. Let's find out. So there's the file, import lib Matthew Till, get globals, and there it is. Now we can, oh, but we don't need that in globals anymore. Take that, close that. And let's restart the REPL back where we started. There we go, there's our function. That works. All right. Then, going back to our text editor, and crash. Like I said, there's still some oddities in the text editor and I'm working out. Okay, effective foreground color. Okay, my guess, get world didn't actually return anything. Sometimes things just get detached. It's there's a lot of moving parts. Okay, Matthew Till. Now we don't need that. And we can do that. And ultimately, this thing with update keys is probably going to go into some sort of utility library also, unless I think of a better way to handle the keyboard in general. I want to do more work on the keyboard before I decide. What I want to do here is actually populate the init function. Got the keys, the player, the map, cut, paste, and then everything's at the wrong indent level. Proper indenting matters. The inconsistencies in this editor are going to drive you nuts. Until I fix them. these tile definitions are going to stay up here. These constants will stay at the top. You can't actually create a constant value in miniscript, but putting it in all caps is an indicator. Now the init function is creating the tile display. This creates the map. Basically, if you want your map drawn beneath your sprites, you need to create the map first. Don't currently have a way of reordering those. I probably will before I'm done. So the init function will create the tile map, create the sprite display, populate the map, create the player. It'll work even better if we do this. Okay, let's see if that actually works. Oh. File could not be read. But why not? I think I know why. Going up. I need a scroll bar. It's gonna go on my to-do list. I want that. Now for that to work, we also need to do this. Okay, lib folder now has two things in it. Calling init, there's the map, calling main, and now our little microman is walking. It's not capturing every single key press. I'm not sure why yet. I need to give the keyboard some more work. Hit escape, destroy, and it's gone. Now, before we are done, oh, another important thing to show you. Init. So we have the map, which is very poorly named, I just realized. Yeah, I'm going to have to rename that, because there actually is a map type that I probably just obliterated. Anyway, it has the scroll X and scroll Y in there, and the sprite display also has a scroll X and a scroll Y. The way you work with that, they're both in pixels. And they're actually accessible through the props. See, makes the whole thing scoot over. And then you also have the sprite display as props, scroll X. So theoretically, you can use the scroll X and scroll Y and set that to the player position, and then you would have this whole map just kind of scrolling. So that'll be a thing to implement soon. And oh, I want to do another thing before we're done here. Don't need an editor, it's already open. Init, main, destroy. So initialize everything, run the main loop, and then tear it all down when you hit escape. I want to make the viewport larger. I think that the complete display size is 960 by 480. So let's make this, let's see, 40 less there, so 960, 40 less than that is 920. This tile display TD. Okay, let's see if that works. Should make it bigger, and I think it will center it if I did it right. There you go, centered and bigger. Now the theory, so if you're making a game in this system, you'd use the tile map and sprite displays to create the world, and you can use other types of label morphs and whatnot to build the UI. Oh, the keyboard is going to make me sad now. It's like it's capturing maybe every other key press. And I'm not sure if that's because of the way that it's... Is it a mini-script problem or a C# problem? Probably a C# problem. Something about the events just aren't bubbling through correctly. I don't know why. I'll get it fixed, and then this will look a lot better. Alright. So, coming up, I want to add some sort of collision detection to these trees. I want to make this map scrollable around the player. And if we go back to the font, where was it? I want to use all these little icons here. We have 2 sheep, some sort of brick, I don't know what that's for, and some angry snowmen. I want to get the angry snowmen in there. Don't know what I'm going to do with them. I'm just going to throw the pieces in there and see what it does. And I want to use the rest of these animations. That would be fun. So one for when he's standing still, another for when he's moving, and these 2 for when he's bored. That'll be fun. And that is it. I am stopping there. Thank you for joining me. And yeah, I'll post the the GitHub link, and the GitHub link will be in the video description, and I'm going to post the source code to Gist. But you can post a question if you want, if you need help getting that wired up. And yeah, see you around.